Hello! Let's talk about the new Years and Years album, Palo Santo. So, Years and Years are a pop group from London. They're a three-piece led by Ollie Alexander, and they broke out in 2015 with their debut album Communion, which featured many hits like King, Desire and Shine. Now, their first album was very much garage inspired. I thought it was quite future garage, as they were calling it at the time. I thought that was going to take off, but in the 3 years since the last album, it seems like the new trends at the moment are tropical pop, which is sort of waning in favour of reggaeton, which a lot of people are doing at the moment with great success. Years and Years are moving in a different direction from this, and this is more of an electro sort of like, there's quite a few funky bass lines, like a few of them are quite disco-y, and while it is on trend, it's not as derivative as you might expect. Lead single, If You're Over Me, is clearly tropical pop. It's got the sort of like steel drums that you hear in those sort of tracks, but they've got more of an electro tint to it. And it doesn't sound like a copy of Shape of You, like a lot of pop songs in the tropical pop mould seem to do. It's very catchy. I really like the hand claps that complement the drum beat on this song. And overall, it's a really nice slice of pop that feels both modern and fresh. Now, like a lot of Years and Years songs, there's strong religious themes on this. Palo Santo is a type of wood that they burn in like the Hispanic world, and it sort of cleanses things. And I mean, the first album was called Communion. This album is all about cleansing. Lead singer Ollie Alexander talks about his personal life in great detail here as well, and you hear about his trials and tribulations in love, his failures, but also his successes. And it just feels like a really timely release here. They've clearly spent a lot of time on this album. Years and Years have really refined their sound from the initial future garage style, and we hear now what the band is going to be. I really like the compositions on Palo Santo. Rendezvous is another strong song on the album. I think this could work as a single as well. I really like the synths on this. It sounds very 80s inspired, but they've got a nice bass line as well. And the lyrics talk about a hookup that Ollie Alexander is involved in, and it just works really well. It's really cohesive. The compositions in general on Palo Santo are really strong. They really show off the musicianship of the band, because I feel like Ollie Alexander, as the lead, he's the face of the group, but the two guys that are supporting him really are talented, and they all together is very cohesive. All For You is another strong moment on the album. It's got a really nice surging drum beat that really builds as it heads towards the chorus. And on the chorus, we really hear Ollie Alexander and his strong vocal range here. The bass line is really groovy, really funky, and it really just carries the song. And then when we get to the chorus, it all builds up together, and it just feels very nice. It's really pays off the build up from the verses, and the little hand claps really just complement it. It's really detailed like composition on All For You, and it's another really strong moment on this album. I must say, I was very surprised by this album. I didn't expect to like Palo Santo that much. I heard the first single, Sanctify, and I still maintain it's quite average. It's nothing really that special, and I thought this was going to be just a sort of derivative, just poppy album that doesn't really try anything new. But Years and Years, they're a good group. They really are stretching themselves and moving the group into a new direction here. And I really like the experimentation here. The majority of it comes off. Some of it, especially towards the bonus tracks, it sort of gets a bit repetitive. But at 47 minutes, it doesn't really overstay its welcome. I feel like the deluxe version would definitely be stripped down a bit to make it a bit more enjoyable. But that is the deluxe version. These bonus tracks are the songs that aren't really going to make the cut. But overall, really enjoyed Palo Santo. The second half of Palo Santo drags a bit. These songs are a bit more somber. They don't really work as well. I feel like Years and Years are better at when they're not doing the ballads and when they're doing the songs that you'd hear in the club, the really upbeat bangers. That's what we listen to Years and Years for, and I think it works well in the first half. The second half does drag. So, I mean, overall, this is a good album, very enjoyable, well worth a listen. I give it 6.5.